Hi guys, I'm Linda from the Smart Travelista. Today I'm going to talk about safety. I think it's a really important travel topic to cover. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about that and give you some tips for traveling safely when you go overseas. So as I said, traveling with safety is so important. You want to arrive safely and go home in the same way. So it's really, really important that you keep safe. And your family and friends will thank you for keeping safe as well, because they want to see you as well when you come back. Um, so let's talk about traveling safety. So there's a lot of ways to stay safe traveling. I'm going to break it down into personal safety, belongings and money safety, hotel safety, and safety while you're out and about. So let's get into it. So personal safety, there's a few things to do. And some of these things will be common sense to you, or they might not be if you're not very experienced as a traveller. But I'm going to share the tips with you. So personal safety, one really important, don't travel alone at night. For me, this is a no-brainer. Um, would you do this in your hometown, in your own city? I wouldn't. So you just got to be careful, right? So don't do it when you're traveling because it's highly dangerous. Another thing is you're not familiar with your surroundings when you're in a new place, and this puts you at a really big disadvantage. So another thing to be mindful of. Don't draw attention to yourself. I know we love drawing attention to ourselves. I sometimes like doing that myself as well. You're just so excited to be traveling, right? But you just need to tone it down a little bit and bring it down. What happens also when we're traveling, we like our nice jewelry, our belongings, and we take them with us because they're an important part of our life. But my advice is to leave them at home. Um, and so, yeah, just try not to be loud or rowdy, and then that'll really help you when you're traveling. Another no-brainer for me is don't tell anyone that you've just met where you're staying and your room number. This is a really big security risk. You need to keep it to yourself and be really general. And even say, look, I'm traveling with friends, because that sounds a little bit more safer than traveling alone. And, you're traveling alone and you're doing a good job, but you want to know that there's other people around you. So it's just an extra safety precaution. Really big one here. Be observant and notice what's going on around you. If you're like me, sometimes I arrive somewhere really jet lagged and you're tired, you're exhausted. And when you're like that, your brain's not on its A game. Um, so, what you need to do before you go out, if you are jet lagged and a bit tired, have a strong coffee, an energy drink, or whatever it's going to get you alert, to give you that boost. So, so important, because what happens is people that are going to prey on tourists are going to look for the people that are more vulnerable. And if you're jet lagged and tired, you fit that category. So really important. Belongings and money safety. So at an airport, don't leave your money and belongings unattended. I know this can be really hard when you're traveling alone, because normally, say you want to go to the ladies or the toilet, you'll say to your travel companion, can you mind my bags for me while I just go to the toilet? So that can be really hard when you're alone. And you might not have checked in, so you might have all your bags with you. Take my advice, keep everything with you at wherever you go. I know this is inconvenient and you're dragging your bags along, but it's so important. If you leave anything unattended, it's highly likely that it's either going to be stolen or confiscated by airport employees, because now it's seen as a security risk, a bag that's not attended. Another big one is avoid changing money at the airport. Undesirables are known to scan airports for cashed up tourists. And so you're at risk of being followed or robbed. That's a reality. You know, when you're traveling, you've got all your money, you want to spend your money. They know that you've got that on you when you've just arrived. So just be really mindful of that. Hotels, always use the lock when you're in a hotel. If your room has a lock and one of those ones that's got a bit of a chain, use it. Also, if you have a peephole where you can look to see who's outside the door, make sure that you've got that hole covered because people can look in. So that's another thing that you need to do. Also, another thing that I take with me is a door stopper. So I'm not sure whether you know what a door stopper is, but it's a little rubber thing that you put under the door to keep the door open. So always take that with you because what you can do is you can use that to keep the door closed and stick it under the door. Also, lock your money, laptop, or other valuables into your suitcase when you leave the hotel room. And even if it's for a small amount of time, so you might be just in the shower for, 5 or 10 minutes, make sure everything's locked up. When you leave for the day, do a check to make sure everything of value is not left lying around and is locked up. What I would say is I use the suitcase or the number of suitcases I've got with me and lock everything up. I don't do it in the safe because I just see it as a bit more of a risk. It's up to the individual whether you want to use the hotel safe, but I personally don't use them. So when you're out and about, this is the fun part. Don't take all your money with you. Break it down into smaller amounts and leave what you won't spend for the day locked in your luggage. So what I normally do, I'm away for 5 days. Let's break that money up into 5 little parcels. And then, you can always take a credit card with you if all that cash gets spent, which if you're like me and you like shopping, it will get spent. So always have a backup. Be careful when withdrawing from ATMs and don't use ATMs in quiet locations. So this is another thing. Poorer people in foreign countries could kidnap you. I know this sounds extreme and touch wood, it hasn't happened to me. But if they do that, the first place they're going to take you to is the ATM to withdraw your money. So make sure that if you're withdrawing money, look behind you, make sure you know what's going on. As I said, be really self-aware and do it somewhere where it's busy. So there's a lot of people around. Carry your belongings on the front of your body. This is so important. I know we've got a backpack and we normally put it on the back. Need to put that on your front. And if you've got like a little bag, keep it at the front. Why are we doing this? Because we can see what's happening. We haven't got eyes in the back of our head and we can't see what's happening in the back. So you're at a disadvantage, and pickpocketers love tourists that have backpacks on their back. So just be aware of that as well. So if you love these tips and you want to know more, I have a book out called The Smart Travelista's Guide, How to Protect Your Travel Health and Safety. So we talk about health and safety. So I would absolutely check it out on Amazon. I'm going to provide links below, so you will have all those links. And if you're after something more entertaining, like some travel stories where things don't go as planned, where things go wrong, then you can check out any of my books in the Antics from Abroad series. So I've got Antics from Abroad and Antics from Abroad, More Mayhem. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the tips and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.